Hello builders, and welcome back to the World Zoo project, a giant zoo where I am trying to fit a habitat in for every single animal in the game. In today's video I have for you not just one, but two habitats. That's right, it's a two for today. We are doing the tapirs and the babirusa, going in the back corner of our Asian section of the zoo. So if you end up liking this video, leave a like, comment, do all that YouTube stuff, or check me over on Twitch where I am building this zoo live over there. Anyways, enough self-promotion, let's get on with the building now. So we start off the build by creating a viewing area for guests to see the animals. This building will end up being a round building, being I always love making round buildings whenever I get the chance, with a pagoda on top. This is, of course, as you can tell, going to be more Asian themed, being that is, of course, the Asian area. So we'll get a good use of all the Asian props that the game devs have put in for us. The building went through several iterations as I kept playing around with different props and colors to figure out a look I want to go for. And then partway through the build I realized, oh wait, this is a viewing area, it has to have glass in it. So I quickly delete all the work I had done previously, well maybe not all of it, but a good chunk of it, and put the glass in. That way guests can actually see the animals from the viewing area. Don't know why I didn't think about that earlier on. Sometimes I just get a little involved in the building and I don't stop to think why I'm building something. And here is a fun trick if you want to do a round building. What you do is build, of course, one wall as you saw, copy and paste an exact mirror version of it behind it, and then just copy and paste that group around itself into a circle, and boom, you got instant building. Of course, there are some adjustments you'll have to make, but that just goes with the process of building. There is always adjustments to be made. Nothing is perfect the first go, and you can always improve upon your building technique and your style. And for that giant pagoda up top, I had just copy and pasted it from what I had built in my previous videos. Sometimes it's easy just to copy and paste a build. It's going to save you time, but it will also serve the purpose of linking everything together in your zoo with a very unique style and look. And if you want to see how I built that pagoda, I recommend checking out the Saru Springs video. It is probably one of my favorite builds in the entire zoo. It's where I ended up creating a giant hot spring for the monkeys and the cranes, so I fully recommend taking a look at that one. For the next stage of the build, we are going to create a sleeping area for the animals. I usually like to incorporate these wherever I have the interior viewing areas for guests to go in. That way they can have a nice view of the animals resting and sleeping, and being just absolutely adorable, because who doesn't love a cute sleeping animal? For the interior, I decided to go with mostly stone, as well as some accents of actual rock pieces, and just creating a few extra little pens for the animals to sleep in, with a little bit of bamboo, because I just love using the bamboo pieces, and while we are in Asia I decided to get my fill of using them. And if you're new to the channel and this is your first video of mine, I should probably let you know now that I absolutely love using rocks. Anyone who has watched any of my previous videos or has joined me live over on Twitch knows this. I love rocks. I put rocks all over my zoo, and the vast majority of my buildings always incorporate some natural look, usually involved with some rocks, and sometimes, occasionally, a few trees in there as well. And again, speaking of that love of rocks of mine, it's time to get on to the most important part of any build. It's the rock work. So let's get on with a little bit of rock work for the tapir habitat. And then after that, we will then move on to the babirusa habitat. But first, tapirs. Let's go, rock work. And when you're ever doing rock walls, I recommend doing this little trick where you make one little chunk and then copy and paste it over along the cliff just to fill it all in. That is if you want to do this trick. You do it however you want, but I find this way the most effective. Especially I can just come in afterwards and just fix the rocks around if they don't copy and paste quite well enough. And as much as I love to copy and paste rock walls, every now and then I like just doing the rock work myself. There's something a little zen about it, just going in and putting rocks over and over again while talking to chat over on Twitch. It is just my way of chilling out after a long work week. And it's time to decorate the bridge. We can't just have a boring old bridge now, can we? No, we need to make this thing look pretty, like everything else in the zoo. So we come in with a few of the Asian props and come up with a nice design to use to just copy and paste that around. And a fun fact about this river that you're seeing on screen, this river is actually flowing through many of the habitats through Asia. It starts off in our tiger habitat, moves through our Amur leopards, then through the otter habitat, and then comes through here. It is flowing all over the place, and it will eventually move into our Babirusa habitat, as you will see soon. Whenever I get the chance, I try to incorporate all of the habitats together in some weird way, and this time around we are doing it with, well, the river. And speaking of the river, we gotta give it the love and attention it deserves, so we're gonna come in now and add in a few extra rocks around the riverbank just to pretty it up. After that, we will start with the foliage. So let's just chill, sit back, and listen to some nice Planet Zoo music while we decorate this habitat before moving on to the Babirusas. There, how is that for a quick speed build of one of the habitats? Now, time to do part 2 of our double feature video today. So let's get on to the Babirusas. For this video, I've decided to skip rebuilding the entire sleeping area, as it's basically a copy-paste style of what we had done with the tapirs. So let's move on to doing the exterior of the habitat. When working on your habitats, I always recommend coming in and working on the enrichment items and the special feeders, because you never know, some animals have really large feeders and you need to plan for that. So always just enter their name into the filter, see what you got to place, and then plan around it. And we will be recreating our steps for this habitat like we did for the tapirs. We're going to start off with, of course, the rock work, starting with the back wall as I usually tend to do, and then we will come into the habitat and start adding a little more rock details. What I love about creating these back habitat walls out of rock and then just covering the back top with trees, it creates the illusion that there is a tall mountain back behind it, and makes it look like the zoo is way larger than it is from the guest perspective. It's a special little effect I like using throughout the entire zoo, and it is in backdrops of many of my habitats, if not all of them. And I never like my habitats being completely flat, so I always like to add in a few extra rock details in the middle of the habitat, even if it is just a simple stone pillar going off in the middle of nowhere. And I also like to accompany that with a few things like trees and stuff growing out of the rock too, just to make it look a little bit more natural. Another little trick I like using is decorating the mud pits with some desert rocks, being that they look like they are covered in mud already. And that way it just kind of blends in with the mud a little bit, makes it look like the animals have just traipsed mud all over the place because they don't give a damn. They just want to lay in that mud and they don't care what else gets dirty. Well, look at the time. I think it's almost time to end this video with a nice cinematic road tour of these two habitats. Well, builders, I really hope you enjoyed this rare double feature. Both these animals seem to be a little too small of a video to be on their own, so that's why I decided to incorporate them together. And I should probably do that proper YouTube outro thing where I say smash that like button, ding that bell, leave a comment, subscribe, and you know what? I just did, so there, it's over. You go ahead and do all that if you so choose. If not, then don't worry, I'm still going to be pumping these videos out because I like using this as an archive for my builds for the giant zoo. And if you like this build and you want to come see me build some other stuff, come give me a look over on Twitch, because I am always playing building games over there, especially this zoo. I am so close to getting this thing done. I only have about 30 more animals to go in the whole zoo as of recording this video. So yeah, come check me over there. Link to Twitch down below. And one final piece of self-promotion, if you will allow me, is just to say check out the rest of my channel if you like this video, because I have loads of quick builds and tours of the giant zoo for you to check out. Okay, that is it for my self-promotion. Without further ado, let's get on to the cinematic road tour. So builders, have a great day, and goodbye!